Hi, welcome to God Vlog. I'm going to talk a little bit today about sin. The word sin means to miss the mark that God aims us at. And Paul and early church leaders wrestled with this sin stuff. And a part of their theology developed to be an understanding of the Garden of Eden story, the one with Adam and Eve, to be about humans being made in the image of God, but falling from perfection by sinning. The mark that God aimed Adam at was obedience, and Adam disobeyed God. He sinned, and so he fell from out of the Garden of Eden, out of grace. And that's what the early Christian theologians argued the story of the Garden of Eden meant, the one in Genesis. And that disobedience was understood by Paul and the early church fathers as a story of how all humanity became separated from God. The human image of God is tarnished. Adam and Eve were made in the image of God, and we're still images of God. But to sort of borrow one of Paul's other metaphors, we're a dim reflection. And the bottom line is that Paul and some of the early church fathers understood humankind as falling from grace because Adam did. And they see Jesus' story as being the opposite of Adam's story. Jesus fixes the problem for all of humanity. Jesus fixes the problem for all of humanity, not just some elite or some who are selected or some who figure things out. It's for all of humanity. Where Adam was disobedient, Jesus is obedient. Where Adam's story is about a fall from grace affecting all of humanity, Jesus' story was understood about restoration of grace to all of humanity. Jesus' life and sacrificial death resulted in an atonement, a word that means at oneness, atonement, at oneness. And we are restored to our oneness with God because of what Jesus did, all of us. That's Paul's theology. Everyone gets atonement, at oneness with God because of what Jesus did. And Paul thought that this was true regardless of what we believe or don't believe. That may or not be what we were taught in Sunday school, and that's certainly not what accept Jesus or go to hell means that we sometimes hear, but it's actually Christianity 101, going back to Paul. Grace is free and for all because of what Jesus did. And this theology of Paul's and the early church fathers didn't picture us tossed into a sea needing to get onto the lifeboat of Christianity or we drown. Rather, it pictures us already plucked out of the sea and in the lifeboat, saved from drowning. You will be saved is a phrase that many modern Christians insist makes the Christian path exclusive, except Jesus or go to hell. But Paul understood Christ as God on earth for everyone and generous to everyone. And Paul's thing was that God's grace is free and it's yours whether you want it or not. So all are saved in that respect. In other words, Adam's disobedience was erased by Jesus' obedience. Adam's disobedience was erased by Jesus' disobedience. And so all of us have been rescued from sin's sea of cosmic trouble and are in the lifeboat out of that hot water, as it were. And if you want to put hell in the equation, salvation is about keeping hell from life and about bringing heaven to life, not afterlife, but now during life. And Christianity started out to be about love, all about love. Why? Because God is love, and anything that we hear, that you may hear or think is unloving in Christianity, it's not from God. It's not from Christ. It is from sinful men missing the mark God's aimed us at. The mark is love and obedience to love. The mark that God aims us at is love and obedience to love. And anyone who tells you Christianity is about some other thing or belief or grace that's only for an elite few, be suspicious of them. Love is at the center. Jesus put it at the center. He made the commandment to love God and to love others above all other commandments. And so everything needs to be filtered through that. Be suspicious. It is not love-oriented. If it's love-oriented, it's good. It's from God. Thank you for joining me. My name is Scott Elliott. I'm the pastor at Riviera United Church of Christ in Palm Bay. Go in peace, knowing that you're loved and that you matter.